Hello, today I wanted to go over the proper cleaning. At least these are the cleaning steps that I go through pretty much about on a monthly basis or so, just depending on the condition of my feeders, and I do try to keep abreast of the condition of the feeders and try to do more of a maintenance plan as I go along, keeping the feeders more dry. And of course, with 24/7 coverage of my cams that are behind me here, I have the ability and fortune, I guess I should say, of having people watching 24/7. So they can tell me if a diseased bird has been on the feeder, and I can quickly take that feeder down and move it toward the process that we might go over here today. So a good program of keeping your feeders clean is to try to keep the moisture off and to keep the bird deposits off, but nothing really can substitute for the deep clean, and that needs to be done on a periodic basis, just depending on, like I said, if you've had diseased birds and your program of maintenance. So if you got a good program of maintenance, I think the deep clean's not needed quite as frequently as some people do. But you know, if you're a person that goes to work and your feeders are there all day, you don't have the eyeballs on your feeder to know. So my program of the bleach clean and what I call the deep clean is probably a lot longer than yours may be, that I might suggest. But as I said, I have moderators looking, and I have viewers looking at my feeders 24/7. So and when I go out, every time I go out, and it's usually 2 or 3 times a day, I'm always looking at the condition of the food in the feeders and the distribution and more importantly, the quality of the food there. But you know, I'm also looking at if it rains. I need to make sure that the moisture doesn't collect around the corners and the sides of the feeder. And I use a masonry trowel pretty much to do my work there in keeping that off. And then I turn the feed over. If it was rain the night before, I might turn the feed over when I'm doing that, so it can get the sun and the wind, and that way it dries out, and then I'll put the dry seed around the peripheral of the platform feeders. Now, you know, that doesn't apply necessarily to the tube feeders. You know, tube feeders, you just got to keep an eye out for clumping if it's, you know, an enclosed tube feeder. I do have a wire mesh feeder that has exposure to the elements on the outside, as well as if you don't keep the seeds out of the seed catcher tray, it'll clog those drain ports, and then that will cause water to accumulate, and it'll be like a wick going up the middle of the feed, and that way your feed can deteriorate a lot quicker. So that's kind of a program of maintenance that I do, eyeballing it every day and keeping a close eye on it, and having viewers like you guys watching my feeders to tell me, you know, when a diseased bird may have hit and on which feeder, and did it feed on several feeders, and I can tell usually what kind of bird. And typically, since I have the 24/7 coverage, and this is maybe not will apply to you guys, but I have a feeding strategy going on. So if it's, say, a house finch that has House Finch Conjunctivitis, and we see that house finch, which we have recently, and that's one of the reasons this film is being made here. But you know, there's other diseases going on right now, kind of up in the Midwest and up a band across the states, you know, up even to New England and that as well. But when we spot a bird, you know, with that, then my feeding strategy, I'm able to say, well, let's remove the food source that that bird eats, and that way I can keep that bird off my feeder. I don't pull down my nectar feeder, because the house finch isn't going to eat from that. But right now, I'm offering dried mealworms and suet primarily. Now we do have some peanuts there, but the house finch hadn't really taken to that quite as well. So you know, trying to offer food that they don't eat discourages them from feeding, and they go elsewhere, and hopefully the issue takes care of itself through nature. But we don't want them on our feeder, and if they're on our feeder, we notice that, then we need to bleach clean. But another way of doing it is just to have it on your calendar, is to try to set a bleach clean or deep clean type program on your calendar to just make that part of your ritual. But let me go over a few things that I use here that it might be handy to you as well. One is kind of a long tub, like this, that I'm able to fit my feeders all the way in here, and I use this right here as a what I use kind of as a measuring cup, and I'll put 2 cups of bleach and 18 cups of water in here and put a little bit of soap and detergent in. This is antibacterial Dawn, and this is a bleach here that I use. But I also, since I'm using bleach, and there is a method out there that you can use vinegar, because some people just can't be around that bleach. It's respiratory problems and that prevent them from doing that. But proper eyewear helps, because when you're cleaning with these brushes, you can be pulling it out and it'd be splattering all over you. And of course, using bleach, I don't recommend a black shirt because the black shirt probably gets some splatter on it. But I also have a stiff bristle brush that I'm able to use to kind of deep clean in. But this helps get in the cracks and crevices, and this is more of a scrub, like platform feeders and such. I also recommend some kind of rubber gloves, and I have them up to here just because, sometimes you're dunking your hands in there, and you just, if you're working with bleach, that'll eat you alive. So you need to be cognizant of that. But anyway, let me go ahead and start filling this up in the right proportions. Like I said, it's called a 10% bleach solution. That means, for every 1 cup, you've got 9 cups. 1 cup of bleach, you've got 9 cups of water. So let's get to it, and thank you for tuning in. Okay, let's get down to cleaning. We want to put on our safety glasses and that, and any other like safety gear you might have, because we're dealing with bleach here. And another comment about bleach is there's different types of bleach, and some of the bleach, if you read the labels, and there might be disclaimers, will be that it does not sanitize. There's actually some bleaches that just bleach and don't sanitize. Well, I tried to get the kind that it says kills 99.9% of germs, and so be sure when you're buying that bleach that you're cognizant of the fact that not all bleach is the same. So that's the first tip. But like I said, I've got my safety glasses on here, kind of eye protection, and some rubber gloves. I have 18 scoops of water that I've already put in here. So now, since we're using a 10% bleach solution, we want to add 2 cups of bleach, or 2 portions of bleach, using the same measuring cup that I did before. That way I'll have 2 cups of bleach to 18 cups of water, and that makes a 10% bleach solution. Okay, I'm gonna pour it in. You notice that I changed shirts for this job because I was wearing a black t-shirt yesterday, and a pretty nice one, and of course there's a chance that you'll get some of this bleach splattered on you. A good chance, because when you're pulling, that's why I'm wearing this eye protection, is when you're pulling that brush in and out of feeders and that, you can get splattered. So just beware of that, because bleach can cause serious eye injury. I'm going to put some Dawn antibacterial soap in here just to kind of for clean and wash. And then I've got a long brush here that I'm going to kind of try to stir some of this solution in, kind of get it all mixed up good before I start putting the feeders in it. And many times the feeders, you just don't stick your brush in and start working your feeders. You have to take the feeders apart. And so this one happens to be a Droll Yankee feeder, and it's got a screw up here, that long screw that you unscrew it, and then the pieces will tend to fall out. And once I pull that, you can see that these pieces fall out. I'll go ahead and drop those in the solution there, and also the bottom comes off. So that allows full access to clean the full tube here. Boy, this is kind of dirty since last time I cleaned it. So going to put all this in the solution. Okay, and now that I have the Droll Yankee feeder in here, I might as well, and that's a good reason and advantage to having a little larger container to wash your bird feeders in. I'm going to go ahead and put some of my other feeders in here as well. And the bleach will take a toll on some of these feeders. You can see some of the rust that's developed as a result of being bleach cleaned a number of times. And I have a platform tray I'll show you here in a minute that you can see the long-term effects of the bleach on that as well, which may cause you to have to replace your feeders eventually. But we're here really to provide good food source for birds and disease-free. And so it's our duty, if we're going to take the responsibility and be a good steward of the birds, and that we do need to make sure that we do it properly and don't help promote disease. All right, now we got 2 feeders in the cleaning basin here that we're going to work on, and I've let them soak a little while just to kind of let the bleach do its work. And we'll go ahead and clean these feeders here. I got 2 types of brushes, kind of a stiff bristle and a tube cleaning brush. These tools are available on kenlittleblog.com. So we'll clean the top of that and clean underneath. And we're going to set these pieces aside and rinse them off later, but for now I'm going to set these on the ground. If I had a bigger table, I would have one that's a rinsing station. So if you set up and you can afford 2 of these tubs and have them side by side, you could do a rinsing table and then even have some towels off to the side. To let them drip dry, and then try to let them, after you've rinsed them thoroughly, to let them dry properly before you put them into service. Now, this is a long tube feed cleaner brush, and this feeder looks dirty. It's actually got some paint on it, unfortunately. So these little black splatters are paint, so don't mind them, but I want to clean the top and all surfaces very well. This is why I'm using gloves, is because I want my hands to be protected from this bleach solution. Clean all surfaces I can. This also cleans my brushes as well with a bleach solution. I'll clean all areas. the inside round part that you can get to. And this has an effect on your feeders. You can see where there's rust because the bleach has kind of broken through the paint barrier and gotten to the metal, and so therefore the feeder has started to rust in those areas. But it's kind of a consequence of keeping your feeders clean, inside and out. Kind of hard to get around some of these places. This one does not have. This one, unlike the Droll Yankee, these do not remove. They're fixed in place. This is a Perky Pet feeder. I love this feeder. It dispenses all different types of seed, but it's one that these do not remove. Therefore, it's very difficult to clean thoroughly all surfaces. Clean all the little pieces of the cleaner. And these are the ones that the birds actually touch and get in, put their beaks in, so you want to make sure and clean them as well as you can. And there's even some smaller brushes that get into the port a lot easier. And I use those on the hummingbird feeders when I'm cleaning the nectar feeder. Okay, I think that's our cleaning process for the deep clean. Now comes the rinsing process. Okay, now that we have everything bleach cleaned, it's time to rinse. What I did is, since I don't have two of these and a bigger table, is I rinsed this basin out, this water basin, and cleaned it out, and then I put some fresh water in it. So now we're ready for the fresh water dunk, and I'm just going to go ahead and just make sure, just give it another rub over like that, and I will put all these feeders back together after they've dried. But the point here is to get the bleach solution off of these feeders, because the bleach, as I mentioned, is why I'm wearing gloves, and it's also harmful for the birds. And I'll just, I want to make sure I get the bleach off all these surfaces here. So I'm going to act like I'm cleaning it again, but I'm actually just putting it in water. And I'm setting these out on towels to dry. The sun is coming over the top of my house here, and will soon be bathing these in sunlight. And that is absolutely, it's better to put them on towels like this and let them somewhat air dry than it is just to towel them off and put them into service. Because if you let the sun get on these, it somewhat disinfects the surfaces as well. Put all the different pieces in here and get those good and clean. Because sun is somewhat of a disinfectant. It's not going to do the job, obviously, of bleach, but it is also an effective disinfectant a little bit. I mean, when it's got food in it and it's sitting out in the feeder and that the food's on it, and you have opportunity for bacteria to build up and mold and such. But after we've cleaned it like this, both inside and out, rinse them, and then let the sun do its work, you know, we'll have some good clean feeders, and you know, what the birds deserve. Trying to rinse off all pieces and rinse them off thoroughly. You can tell it's summer here. We've got the cicadas that are singing in uniform. And these type of feeders that don't fit very well in the basin, you just got to kind of roll around, try to make sure you get all surfaces rinsed off. You know, even when I get through changing water out, you know, I rinse off and scrape off my brush and rinse it again, the brushes, because if you're scrubbing your water basins with a brush that you hadn't cleaned off in a long time, then you might just be spreading what you're trying to get rid of. So that's not a good practice there. So I try to keep my brushes clean as well. So I'm using a clean brush on a dirty surface, and then I'll go re-clean my brush. Okay. Time to go clean, empty this, and to get some more towels. I'll remove this and I'll lay some more towels out. When the sun comes over the top of the house, it's already hitting me in the head here and then moving its way down. We'll have these all exposed to the sun, and all will air dry properly, and hopefully get a little disinfectant action from the sun as well. I like to flip these over, make sure I get the water rinsed out. But that's really about it, and I'll put these feeders back together and put them back in service. So thanks for watching.